Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I'm your guide, Elpy. Today is a worm feeding. I'm going to try to make this quick. I have acquired a bunch of spoiled food, mainly fruit, but also some full-on heads of broccoli that went bad for a number of reasons. All right, we will start with, this is Nightcrawler bin number 2. Now, I name them just based on where I started. These probably aren't only European Nightcrawlers. I have 4 bins. I started with one and a bucket. I got a bunch of red wigglers. I can't remember now how many I got. I think I got a pound. And my partner, he bought worms for his turtles and then decided he didn't really want to try and, raise worms, especially since I was already. So he gave me the rest of his worms. But so I bought the red wiggler mix from Uncle Jim's Worm Farm. And then I decided to also, of course, there was a special on European Nightcrawlers. So I bought a very small amount of those. And so from there, at least a year, maybe 2 later, I decided to pick out a bunch of the babies and raise them separately. And that is the origin of this bin. Now, it's a composting worm mix that you can buy from Uncle Jim's. I haven't been on there lately, but that was back in 2020. So it said that you get red wigglers. You might also get European Nightcrawlers and Malaysian blue worms, Indian blue worms, which I'm totally happy with. So anyways, I raised the European Nightcrawlers in a bucket, and that wasn't going well, so I moved them into a bin, and they have since, the mixed bin has migrated over to the other bin over the years, and I'm totally fine with that. But again, that's just the origin of the name of my bins. So I have the mixed worm bin, the European Nightcrawler bin. This was baby European Nightcrawler bin, but I am just going to call it European Nightcrawler bin 2. And then I have my red wiggler bin, which probably now also contains more of a mixture because I don't close my bins. I put the little sticky trap there for fruit flies. So they will migrate over the top if they want to, and that's fine with me. So anywho, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been in here, and you see this is really pulpy, really fibrous, because there was a lot of paper, but also a lot of grass clippings. And I tell myself every time, oh, you should probably look up the last time, because I think this bin, I don't think it was completely harvested out. But okay. So throughout the last year, I would say this bin has fluctuated. Its population has fluctuated quite a bit. It used to be doing quite well. And in the last 6 months, every time I come in here, well, in the last 6 months, I've noticed a population decline. And while you see there are a lot of worms, what I mean by population decline is not just that there are less worms, but also the worms I'm seeing are really, really small, and they've always looked like babies. And that means that the adults died off, and what we have are those that hatched from the eggs. So I don't see a real dramatic increase in the numbers. This is all the newest material. The thing I'm wishing is if I had checked to see. This is I think this is actually just ready to be harvested. So I'm just going to go ahead. I've got some shredded paper products that are ready to go, and I'm just going to scoop this stuff out. Yeah, so I've not been doing a very good job at bringing this population back. It's probably just my overall, I've not been as active in my worm farms. So anyways, like I said, I do mean to actually make this quicker than I am. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest this out, fill it up with new material, add some food, and we'll move on to the next bin. Okay, just show you where I'm at. I just very roughly sort of grabbed all that out. I always leave some of the old material behind. Now I'm going to add my paper products. And I've got this dry mix that may or may not do anything. I learned about people making dry mixes in their bin, and I add neem cake, azomite, diatomaceous earth, food grade, and I think it's kelp, a powdered kelp. Don't think I have calcium in this mix. Some people say the worms need grit, and some people say they don't. So I sometimes add it. And don't come at me talking about adding the diatomaceous earth, because this and this population, because actually this is the 1 year that I've used the diatomaceous earth less in this. So I've been using it for some time, and I've not seen a decline in my population that I can or can't say. So both ways. I can't say that the diatomaceous earth doesn't harm the worms, but I also can't say that it does. The biggest change in my populations that I've seen has been during this last year that I've been less hands-on. And so I'll come in and I'll do a massive feeding, and then I'll forget about it for weeks. And that's been the biggest change in my worm husbandry, if you will. All right, let me add this material. Okay, we've got some broccoli plant leftovers. I should have showed you, but it's this little like box from shipping that I think would just be fun for the worms. It was like stuff was contained in the box, you know, to hold them in place. I had a couple overly ripe peaches, some bad blackberries. I tucked them down in there with the wet shredded material. I also have some torn up grocery papers. Now I'm going to add my little powder mix and then more wet material. So that's the thing. I do try to wet the mix. Okay, sprinkled I'm going to call it my mineral mix around. Sorry, I don't have the proper equipment to be recording while I do this. But, so I put wet shredded mix and was like, oh shoot, yeah, right, this stuff. And that's fine. I'll just kind of layer it today, which I don't often do. I usually just add a pile and then throw everything. So now I will put some more shredded. All right. And there we have it. That's it for European Nightcrawler bin number 2. Second half of the harvest. And this bin is completely harvested. So thank you for visiting the theElpyDimension and spending your time with me. I really do appreciate it. I would love to hear from you in the comments. I had a commenter, a fellow worm farmer and gardener, who told me, and I've heard other people mention this, but having mentioned my fruit fly problem, said that I can add mosquito bits to the worm bin without harm to myself or the worms. And I think I'm gonna give that a shot. I need to order some and look into it further, but definitely me and fruit flies have a close relationship that I don't want to be a part of any longer. All right. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Yeah, take care. Bye for now.